Hi, my name is Abigail Dunnigan, and I just did a case vignette on an individual named Jennifer. At the time of our therapy session, Jennifer presented as a 16-year-old female as a resident of a juvenile probation center in Evansville, Indiana. At the time of her assessment, she indicated to the assessor that she was highly motivated in using marijuana as a coping mechanism to her stressors, and that she was presenting with issues related to family dimensions and things of that nature. When she presented for her initial assessment, she did not have any kind of familial support. Actually, in fact, her mother and father were reported in and out of prison, and her older brother, who was reportedly her main support system, was in jail for grand theft auto. So during her assessment, Jennifer reported a lot of insecurities and things of that nature and associated smoking marijuana as a way to cope with what she was going through and as a learned behavior of that nature. So my initial intentions in dealing with Jennifer were to utilize approaches from cognitive behavioral therapy so that she could redefine kind of what smoking marijuana meant in her life. My goals were to help her understand that smoking marijuana actually implicated some negative consequences in her life, and I really wanted her to understand that for herself. So my questions were kind of tailored towards her defining the consequences of smoking marijuana and kind of employing what in her own life what it meant to her. So I kind of rationalized my approach to strategizing what other approaches she had used when being stressed out in her past. So after kind of redefining that smoking marijuana had negative implications in her life, I really wanted to encourage her to utilize and kind of talk about the things that she'd used previously. So I used solution focused therapy to help her understand what her goal was in meeting with me and what her goal was long term for her own life. When using solution focused therapy, she had addressed to me, the clinician, that she didn't no longer wanted to use marijuana as a way to cope with her stress, and that she no longer wanted to be at Hillcrest for juvenile probation. So going forward, knowing that in mind, I asked her any times in her life where she had been successful in dealing with stress and not using marijuana. And she shared actually with me that she was using drawing and talking with her friends as a way to deal with her stress before she had started smoking marijuana. Knowing that information, I decided to use that strategizing going forward. I really wanted her to know that that was a possible way to deal with all these stress that she's dealing with, and that since she had used it previously to deal with her stress, that this was totally a way to successfully implement it and deal with it in her current day life. So I assigned her some homework. I wanted her to talk about kind of the things that she's grateful for, the things that she did well throughout the day, so that she could have some positive affirmations, even to herself, and that could help her understand that she can deal with her stress without using kind of these strategies that have negative implications. So I utilized cognitive behavioral therapy and solution focus because I think together they make a great dynamic. Honestly, identifying first why smoking marijuana isn't great for you and identifying that there are other coping mechanisms that are good for you, I think helped her move on to the solution focused therapy, which was like actually tailoring to her own individual personality what was going to help her to successfully achieve the goal that she had identified in our therapy session. And that's why I utilized both approaches, and I think that they worked well together in this case because she had a lot of things she needed to work through in the way that she was dealing with her stress, and then knowing that she wanted to continue dealing with her stress, I think it was successful to identify some other ways and to identify how she could incorporate other healthy coping mechanisms to achieve this goal that she had identified. And that's it. So thank you so much. And yeah, that's it.